394.50 needs to break to get that next leg. Basically spike back on up towards around some highs and start ripping and running. Start getting a little bit more of that rally. Ifrin K saying, Deck, you sold way too early. Did I sell too early? Or did I have discipline and just wanted to get out with a stop loss? So it came down to, if the S&P 500 came all the way down to 393, would you say I sold too early? Or would you say, oh, great job cutting out? But since it bounced back on up, you say, oh, you sold too early. But that's because it bounced back on up. Regardless, I have to have a stop loss on my trades, right? Regardless, I have to say to myself, hey, this was my stop loss. So you always have to have a stop loss. I mean, the thing is, it could have fell down to 393. Could have fell down to 392. It doesn't matter if I have an expiration date tomorrow. If I have an expiration date tomorrow and it falls down to 388, does that do me any good? If it falls on down to 393 and says, oh, you have an expiration date tomorrow, that doesn't do me any good. You still have to have a stop loss. You still have to, again, stick to the same game plan. Right now, it looks like the S&P 500 is trying to break here again, team. Looks like we're trying to break. Look how many touches we've had. So many touches trying to break. Touch, drop, touch, drop, touch, drop. Looks like it wants it here, team. It's so close, I feel like. There's so much volume right now at 394.60. Looks like it's starting to get that movement on up. Are we going to get this breakout already or what? You guys see what I see? It's just like it just keeps hitting it, gets trouble, hitting it, gets trouble, hitting it, gets trouble, hitting it, gets trouble. It's trying now. It's definitely trying. And I think that this is a great sign at this moment. Starting to get this pop and this nice move. Starting to get a little bit more volume. There you go. Traders, I'm definitely thinking about just going in on this one. Jumping on this play. Starting to get that break of that red line. As long as we stay above 394.50 at this point, that's a great sign. As long as we stay above 394.50 at this point, that is a great sign on this play for this one to continue to be able to push on up, to be able to get a nice little rip and run. I'm going to look to see if I can be able to add in on this play, maybe like 2 more contracts or so. Right now I have only 1 contract in on this play. I'm trying to get the other one filled. Trying to get the other contract in if I can. And then basically from here, let this thing run. From here, let this thing climb. From here, let it move itself on up. So Deck, what's stop loss? What's bounce play? Bounce play is back on down towards around 394.30. Why? That's where the main bounce was way back here, 394.30 region. Jim Bob, are you getting in? And I thought the plan was to buy in above the VWAP. We are above the VWAP. We're above the VWAP's at 394.22. So VWAP's at 394.22. We are way above the VWAP at this point. And this is, what I'm looking for on that climb back up towards 395 to get that breakout. So, was I wrong on my first trade? I mean, technically you would say yes, but, this is the idea that we're looking for. We're looking for that, spike and that break of that VWAP. See this thing start ripping and running. See this thing, start actually climbing on up, run above that 395 mark and start making us some money, start making us some cash. Looks like everything's going, pretty well at this moment. If anything, it'll just get some consolidation, I think. What's my target? Target is going to be back up near the high of the day. I want to see, I want to see a 395.50 break and keep on going. Target is, all the way back on up to 395 plus. So let's see if this one can keep on spiking. Remember, I only got 1 contract at this point, and that's the thing that's kind of slowing my profits down here slightly. I only got 1 contract, but it's great, hey, still seeing this thing, start moving itself on up. There's the spike. There we go, baby. There we go, baby. There we go. And there's that big rip we want to see. There's that big climb we want to see. There's that big profit we want to start seeing. There's that more action we want to start seeing. I only have 1 contract on this play right now, but there's that nice trade. So great job by everyone here so far. Great job again being able to work ourselves back after that loss, and a good job saying, hey, you know what? There's that trade we want. All the way on up towards 395. Let's see if we can keep on ripping up even higher. So there's again the play that we wanted. That's this was the whole entire idea. I may have jumped in slightly early. I jumped in where? I jumped in on this one, and I ended up taking a loss right here. Now, again, it did it right here. So it's great, and I'm happy I had the confidence to say, hey, you know what, Deck, I think, you were right here still. I think you still had the right idea. I still think you had the right game plan. I still think, again, it was the right trade. And I jumped back in on this trade, and I said, you know what, let me jump in at this area. So S&P 500, beautiful spike, beautiful rip, beautiful run so far. Just went from 393.80 all the way up towards 395.10, and we're going to see if we can even break through 395.10. We're still breaking. We're still spiking here over lunch hours here, traders. We're still going here today, baby. We're still moving our way on up. Let's keep it going now. Let's keep it going at this point. So again, great job by all traders at this moment in on this play, and this was the lunch hour breakout we were looking for. This was the trade that we were looking for at this time. So that is an awesome, awesome spike. Now, we are going to have some resistance, though, coming on up. I am going to lock in some profits, most likely 395.25 or higher. So, I want to be able to, unfortunately, I only have one contract. It's not like I had 3 contracts on my last trade. So I am going to probably lock this in coming on up here. We do have a little bit of that upper shadow, and I'm just going to sell that right here, team. Make back a little bit of my loss. I'm going to make back a little bit more of my loss, make my loss a little bit more manageable. Okay, so I'm locking out right here, team. Just nailed the spike.